Welcome to the Convocation ceremony of the International Baccalaureate Class of 2018. Please be seated. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is Corey Hickson, and as director of the IB program at Poudre High School, I want to thank all of you for joining us today to formally honor the achievements of our students and recognize the part that everyone in this room has played in their success. To begin our ceremony, please join me in welcoming Poudre High School Principal, Ms. Kathy McKay, as she introduces some of our honored guests.
Thank you. Welcome, students, staff, community members. I'd first like to begin our program by introducing some of our special guests here in the audience. Please stand and be recognized as I call your name. And audience, please hold your applause until after all names are read. With us today are members of the Poudre School District Cabinet, Mr. Scott Nielsen, Assistant Superintendent of Secondary Schools, and Ms. Ginger Haberer, Assistant Superintendent of Student Achievement. Also with us are members of our Poudre School District Board of Education, Director Rob Pedersen, and we have Poudre High School Assistant Principals, Kelby Benedict, Poudre High School Assistant Principal, Carrie Christensen, and Poudre High School Assistant Principal, Kendall Wilson. We're also fortunate to have joining us former Poudre High School Principal, Sandra Lunt. We also have with us members of the Poudre High School IB staff, as well as staff and administrators from the Poudre School District IB Primary Years Program and Middle Year Program schools. Please help me honor all of these honored guests. Graduates, I'd also like to take a few minutes just to share some of my sentiments with you on this special day. This year, I experienced the overwhelming anxiety of transitioning my firstborn son into high school. I'm sure all of you parents can remember it, hoping that you all make good friends, that you can manage the workload and find your passions, that you can stay away from negative influences. For parents, it is frightening. And yet, as I scan this audience and I see the pride and the joy and the relief on parents' faces, I can breathe knowing that my son will be just fine. In the words of Anne Frank, parents can only give good advice or put them on the right path, but the final forming of a person's character lies in their own hands. And I think that's the greatest fear of parents, is that we cannot control everything and that the person that you ultimately become lies within your own hands. I have to say that what we've seen form in the past 4 years has been admirable. You've experienced significant loss, and you persevered. You've challenged people to see things from a different perspective. You've mentored younger peers. You've celebrated each other's successes. You've stood up for what you believe in, and you've sparked national conversations about critical issues like school safety, gender equality, the environment, and much more. You've demonstrated the IB learner profile and the spirit of Ubuntu over and over again, and we are incredibly proud of you. Your parents, your teachers, all of us know that the forming of your character is definitely in good hands. Congratulations, graduates.
Thank you, Ms. McKay. This year marks the 50th anniversary of International Baccalaureate, and 21 years ago, the PHS IB program graduated its first class of 27 students. Since then, the program has grown, and we proudly recognize that 1,428 students have walked across the stage as PHS IB diploma candidates. Today, we are pleased to recognize and add the 72 candidates in front of you to the growing list of graduates. The students seated in the front of the auditorium this afternoon exhibit the traits of the IB learner profile on a daily basis. The traits include caring, principled, risk-taker, open-minded, inquirer, knowledgeable, thinker, balanced, communicator, and reflective. Clearly, these traits identify internationally minded people who, by recognizing their common humanity and shared guardianship of the planet, help to create a better and more peaceful world. And what all of us know is that it truly takes a village to cultivate and support the development of these traits. Therefore, at this time, the IB class of 2018 asks that parents, IB alumni, and IB staff please rise so students can publicly acknowledge you for all the years of support and encouragement. Please rise. In addition to their parents, there are many others who have helped the IB class of 2018 become the people they are today. Each IB senior has identified former or current teachers, coaches, and mentors who have played a significant role in their success, and we are honored to have many of those people in attendance today. Please stand as your name is called by the student and remain standing throughout this roll call of honor. If your name is announced more than once, please give a wave as you remain standing. Audience, please hold your applause until the end. Veda, would you like to begin?
Wells. Miss Klein and Mr. Malone.
Matthew Benson.
Trisha Klein and Sarah Click.
Karen Silva.
Cesar Fuentes and Daniel Gallegos.
Lonnie Obluda and Kelly Ross.
Krista Warnock and Diane Cool.
Cesar Fuentes and Daniel Gallegos.
David Enright and Daniel Gallegos.
Miss Wendy White. Tanya Schwollard and Jill Hitchman.
Mr. Duffy and Mr. Wilson.
Miss Shaner and Mr. Castro.
Stacy Wirtz and Janice Martinez.
Miss Johnson and Mr. Sayers.
Miss Hoeiler.
Mr. Laughlin and Mr. Denise.
Kevin Duffy and Aaron Peterson.
Joanna Keese and Daryl Knobloch.
Kelly Sudo.
Bernie Mascarenas and Kelly Heath.
Cami Barron, Fran Stein.
Miss Eckhoff and Miss Brashen.
Joe Dixon and Miss Isa Pinedo.
Kathy Turner and Gino Panapinto.
Rob Brashears, Josh Wiseman, and Chris Glafilter.
Daniel Gallegos.
Miss Rhodes and Miss Obluda.
Mrs. Carlton and Mrs. Silva.
Mrs. Krenning and Mrs. Bundy.
Mrs. Laughlin and Frau Ross.
Miss Brady Hoff, Miss Lane, and Mr. Brown.
Elizabeth Kennedy, Nicole Allen, Stephanie Rittner, and Christy Bibby.
Dan Schramm and Elizabeth Bratchen.
Joan Kenny and Lydia Olson.
Deborah Taylor and Julie Hansen.
Alice Crawford and Amy Hughes.
Melinda Shaw and Dr. Wesley Ferrer.
Kim Carlson, Ashley Hall, and Karen Silva.
Please join me in acknowledging all of these honored guests. As we are recognizing important mentors and teachers, I would like to recognize 2 IB teachers who are leaving us this year. First, Mr. John Knight is retiring. After 30 years in education, I was fortunate enough, to have Mr. Knight as a teacher. And I know he not only has a keen understanding of science, but is also a man of great integrity with genuine concern for his students. I want to personally thank you for the difference you made in my life. And after 19 years at PHS, Mr. Jason Malone is moving on to another adventure where his passion and compassion will undoubtedly be an asset. Thank you, Mr. Malone, for your dedication to the MYP program and to IB and to Poudre High School. You've made an incredible impact on many. At this time, I'd like to invite our Creativity, Activity, and Service Coordinator, Mrs. Tiffany Hunt, to the podium.
IB aims to nurture students as individuals beyond the academic realm, as is evident in the IB mission statement. To this end, in order to earn an IB diploma, students must complete creativity, activity, and service, commonly known in the IB vernacular as CAS. Within CAS, students engage in creative, active, and service-oriented experiences of their choosing, which target 7 learning outcomes. These learning outcomes align with the IB learner profile and include such aims as identifying strengths and developing areas for growth, undertaking new challenges, planning and initiating experiences, collaborating with others, demonstrating perseverance and commitment, engaging in issues of global importance, and considering the ethics of choices and actions. It has been my privilege to work with this year's senior class and to observe all they have undertaken. These students have also benefited from the support of their faculty CAS advisors who offer their time to mentor individual students in CAS and to help them reflect on and grow through their experiences. Advisors play an important role in encouraging students to affect change, both internally and in their community, and the quality of the CAS experience is enhanced through their guidance. Would the CAS advisors for this group of graduating seniors please stand so that we can thank you for your support? It is a tradition in our program to recognize a graduating senior whose CAS portfolio is exemplary. First, however, we must note that while we are recognizing 2 students here this evening, There's great accomplishment and inspiration in what each of you has undertaken. Seniors, there is so much to be admired in who you are and what you have begun. I've had a special glimpse into the risks you have taken. You who were pushed to go out for a sport or pursue an athletic activity for the first time. You who put yourself in an uncomfortable position for the benefit of seeing another perspective or serving someone else. You who took a stand for something you believed in and were bold enough to be a model or leader for others. There are those among you who invested countless hours in pursuing a passion, be it to design music or artwork, perfect performance on the stage or on the field, or to do everything possible within your sphere of influence to affect positive change on the world. You discovered new passions and talents, came to see the world a little differently, learned that success doesn't always mean achieving exactly what you set out to do. Some of you have done this because you were challenged, encouraged, required to do so. Others because this is naturally who you are. Both these motives and all the results are commendable. If the audience will forgive us a few obscure metaphors, I dare say some of you have figuratively embraced what it means to walk into jungles, seeking diamonds, touch and thereby destroy the blooms of ignorance, dream about a better world in which accidents don't happen. Obscure metaphors aside, you have come to embody what it means to be principled, to be risk takers, to be caring, to be the change. Tonight, we recognize two students in particular whose approaches to CAS embody the aims and ideals of the program. The first of these recipients challenged herself to try new activities, became active in the school and broader communities, and consistently demonstrated dedication to her experience as well as the reflective process. Her experiences were so varied that most of her supervisors did not know one another, yet all used the same words to describe her: focused, thoughtful, insightful, poised, professional. Kelsey Nelson, will you please come forward to accept your award? As she's making her way up here, I want to share with you that her award is inscribed with a quotation from Maya Angelou that reads, "My mission in life is not merely to survive, but to thrive, and to do so with some passion, some compassion, some humor, and some style." Our second recipient set herself apart in her reflective nature, her high personal standards, and her genuine heart for serving others. She was described by her supervisors as connected, disciplined, passionate, mature, and intentional in all she undertakes. Her advisor noted that she selected experiences that challenged her to improve her leadership skills, and her advisor described her as a, quote, positive, self-motivated worker who always has a can-do attitude. From training herself to tackle a triathlon, to her service work in Guatemala, to collaborating with peers to raise awareness about human trafficking, this student demonstrated time and again a determined yet humble nature. Oh gosh, Kate, I don't actually know how to say your last name. I'm gonna go with Fiesler. Please come forward to accept your award. Kate's award is inscribed with a line from Ralph Waldo Emerson, and it reads, "Do not go where the path may lead, go instead where there is no path and leave a trail."
At this time, I would like to recognize two individuals who will receive their plaques at graduation on Saturday. Owen Lockwood, please stand. You are this year's IB salutatorian. And Roshni Narayanan, would you please stand? You are this year's IB valedictorian. Thank you. You may be seated. Congratulations. Each year, the Poudre High School IB staff selects 2 seniors to recognize for their outstanding academic achievement and love for learning, as well as who they are as people and what they bring to the program. Brian Martino, would you please come to the stage? You are one of this year's outstanding seniors. Brian is described by his teachers in this way. On the cross-country team, Brian had an incredible work ethic, was competitive, and a strong leader. In calculus class, Brian was inquisitive, determined, and talented. But Brian has many other talents besides running in academics. Until Mr. PHS, I had no idea about his dancing ability. Wow. And Brian has a well-developed sense of self. He has the ability to laugh at his own foibles as well as build upon his weaknesses and turn them into strengths. He's a humble young man who rarely shares with others his successes in the academic or athletic arenas. Instead, he allows his actions to speak. Because Brian is a man of action, his award has a quotation by Cicero that says, "It is not by muscle, speed, or physical dexterity that great things are achieved, but by reflection, force of character, and judgment." That's Brian. Congratulations. Grace Kenyon, will you please join me on stage as the second recipient of this year's Outstanding Senior Award? Grace is described by her teachers like this. She has a keen mind which readily grasps new information, and she has the ability to analyze and synthesize material in a highly efficient and effective manner. She's never bought into a sense of panic, but rather quietly goes about her business using her superior time management and organizational skills to excel in the IB program while avoiding a nervous breakdown. Her leadership style is set by the example she gives, not just the words she says. She clearly sets an example for others, and so the quotation on her award is from Maya Angelou and says, "I've learned that people will forget what you did, people will forget what you said, but people will never forget how you made them feel." Thank you, Grace. I'd like to invite Mr. Jason Malone, MYP coordinator, to the stage to present the next award.
The IB diploma program is frequently identified with rigorous academic standards, of which we are all very proud. But the mission of the IB program encompasses much more than academic excellence. Ultimately, the mission of IB is to support the development of, quote, caring, compassionate, lifelong learners who understand that other people, with their differences, can also be right. And I'm sure students, you've heard that many times. In order to acknowledge students who truly embody this mission, the Poudre High School IB Humanitarian Award was created. This award is special because the recipient is chosen by his or her classmates. There were many students of the IB class of 2018 who were named as candidates for this award, but one student was overwhelmingly chosen by his classmates as the person who best represents the IB values of intercultural understanding and respect towards others. One classmate commented that this individual is, quote, kind-hearted, attentive, always looking out for others, funny, and open-minded without fault. Another explained that this person has never been in a negative mood and always shows belief in others. And one summed it up simply by saying, "I love Ben Warner. He's the individual who is always respectful and tends to reside in silence in social settings, but is a true sweetheart. He shows compassion for everyone, and he's smart too. He deserves this award." I'm proud to announce that this year's recipient of the IB Humanitarian Award is Ben Warner. And because Ben makes a difference on those around him, the quotation on his award reads, "What counts in life is not the mere fact that we have lived, it is what difference we have made to the lives of others that will determine the significance of the life we led." Nelson Mandela.
Congrats. You've made it. Are you feeling relief that it's over? Trepidation about what comes next? Sadness about who and what you'll leave behind? Excitement for the future? Probably all of the above. Yeah. With all of those emotions, you may not have had time to stop and consider what you've done and accomplished, both individually and as a class, that's gotten you to this point. Let me remind you. First and foremost, you've successfully completed 13 years of schooling, the last 2 in a rigorous, challenging program. Over the years, you've participated in 5th grade exhibition, 10th grade personal project, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, track and field days, cookie dough fundraisers, science fairs. In the past 2 years alone, collectively you volunteered countless hours to service organizations in our community like Respite Care, the Food Bank, and faith-based groups. You organized events to celebrate IB and PHS, including junior induction, art shows, theater shows, comedy, sports, debate competitions. You've earned scholarships to CSU, CU, Front Range Community College, Brown, Puget Sound, and the Air Force Academy, just to name a few. Among you, there's a Betcher finalist, Gold Key Award winners, National Merit Scholars, an Eagle Scout, and members of the International Thespian Society and All-State Band, Choir, and Orchestra. You've been recognized as academic and athletic All-State recipients, Rotary Club Outstanding Students, and 2 of you are the Coloradoan first-generation scholars. You're members of Ambassadors, Mock Trial, Student Council, Global Visionaries, Speech and Debate, Robotics, and NHS. And let us not forget the last 2 years alone, where you've written a 4,000-word essay, completed 200-plus hours for CAS, reflected on profound questions for TOK, sat for a minimum of 16 exit exams. I was there for most of them, so I know you did. And completed numerous WAs, IAs, RPPFs, PPDs, PPFs, and RPPFs. Exhausting and impressive. And you now have every reason to be feeling the range of emotions from excitement to apprehension to full-out fear. This rite of passage from the familiar comforts of high school and home to the unknown world is naturally unsettling. And guess what? Everyone in this room has felt this same discomfort at some point in their life. And everyone in this room has a different piece of advice on how to best navigate the unknown. In fact, over the years, the adults in my life have shared advice and quotations intended to be helpful. My father always told me to assume good intentions and focus only on the things I can change. My mom, an English teacher, relied on literary quotations like, "To thine own self be true," to encourage my efforts. And my grandma Katie told me to always have a pie in the freezer in case someone dropped by for conversation. Certainly, these words of advice and wisdom have helped me through uncomfortable moments, but I know there are many other wise people out there, and so I asked others what wisdom they had for graduating seniors like you. Here's what they said. Sawyer, age 9, said, "You are a bag of currency. Don't spend yourself, extend yourself. Make your own choices. I want you to accomplish your dreams, but practice before you do it. And Jake, also age 9, would like you to explore the world, get married, hang out with your friends, get money, eat food, buy clothes. Practical. And my daughters, Ainsley and Peyton, also have advice. Don't try to blend in when you're born to stand out. And tomorrow can't happen until you get through today. Other generations had more words of wisdom for you, including Anne, who said that you must practice the art of compromise in every phase of your life and be open to new ideas, new people, new places. And your IB teachers contributed this advice: enjoy the adventure, remember to look, and embrace the unknown. My advice to you comes from the words of F. Scott Fitzgerald, who says, "For what it's worth, it's never too late to be whoever you want to be. I hope you live a life you're proud of. If you find that you're not, I hope you have the strength to start all over again." What I hope you see in these words is that everyone, regardless of their age, has advice. There's not a single recipe for happiness, and success comes in a variety of forms. At the end of the day, you get to choose the path you take, the advice you listen to, and the people with whom you surround yourself. I encourage you to heed the words of L.R. Nost and surround yourself with the dreamers and the doers, the believers and the thinkers, but most of all, surround yourself with those who see greatness within you, even when you don't see it yourself. Ultimately, my hope for you is that you consider all of the words of wisdom, then know that you are strong enough and confident enough to be whoever or whatever you want to be. And I hope you live a life you're proud of. And to be safe, I hope you always keep a pie in your freezer, just in case someone drops by. Congratulations, class of 2018. And now is the moment that we've all been waiting for, the recognition of each IB senior. Ms. Kim Wilder and Mr. Greg Piccolo, IB counselors, will be our readers this afternoon, and the IB faculty will be presenting the diploma stole and IB pin to each IB senior. Students will then be able to make a brief statement to the audience. In order to hear every student and to keep the ceremony moving quickly, please hold your applause until all 72 candidates have had a chance to speak. Griff, would you begin?
So, Michael Griffith Bibby.
Jenna Marie Gorham.
Grace Elizabeth Kenyon.
Benjamin Merlene Warner.
Last question for HL Bio. Who is milk?
I can't count the number of times over the past 2 years I've asked myself, why am I even in this program? Is all of this even worth it? And if there's one thing I've learned over the past 2 years, looking back, I know that I can now answer this question, and I can do it with an oppositional thesis. So here we go. Despite all the tears, all the frustration, all the stress, and all the late nights, I can say with certainty now looking back that it was all worth it. Not only because of everything I learned, but because of all the friendships I gained. So thank you all for supporting me, for laughing with me, for all the great memories that I'll cherish forever.
I'd like to thank my family, friends, and everyone who's either directly or indirectly helped me get through the 13 out of 18 years of my life that have been spent in public schools. And for all of my fellow graduates, I know it's been an interesting few years, and if you'll let me use another obscure metaphor that maybe Ms. Hunt will appreciate more than you do, because you could probably want to forget it. I know there's been a lot of bumping and a lot of collisions going on in our country and in our world, and even in our own lives, but you guys are doing a really good job learning how to dance, so let's dance life like champions.
Thank you all for sharing this wild ride with me. It's been an honor to get to know all of you these past 2 years. If you want to keep in touch, I plan on becoming President of Mexico 11 times and throwing a state funeral from my leg.
Hannah Lydia Olson.
Brian Russell Martino.
Krista Lauren Grossman.
I would like to thank my parents for sticking by my side throughout my whole journey. I'd like to thank my teachers for having so much passion about their subjects and for occasionally bringing food into class, because it's always appreciated. And I'd also like to thank my brothers for making sure that I'm the best Olsen, as cited by Mr. Brown, who tells me that a lot. And, and I can't wait to see where life takes all of us.
Well, in 8th grade, when I moved here in August of 2013, I joined Lincoln Middle School, and I didn't know what IB was. I was just kind of in it, and this is what happened. So, on a genuine level, I would like to thank my parents, my sister, my teachers, and my peers, all for installing such a diligent and showmanship-worthy work ethic in everything that I do, and each and every one of you peers in the audience have had an impact on me one way or another, so I thank you. And I would also like to thank Wikipedia and Red Bull for giving me a chance. So.
In the words of H.L. Mencken, there's always a sheet of paper, there's always a pen, there's always a way out. After 5 bajillion IB tests, I can say that he was probably right, so congratulations, guys, and thanks for the ride.
Sophie K. Gilbert Albright. Shihab Ayman El Haddad.
Kai Jamie Ecton. Rebecca Isabel Kirby.
I cannot even begin to thank my parents enough, the 2 people who have guided me the most throughout this journey and offered unwavering support, and my friends who have also been there for me through times of tears and laughter. I'd also like to recognize the IB staff who truly have put their hearts into teaching and are the reason that I have hope for the world today and the reason why I want to grow up and make a difference. I think that these people, these educators, are the reason why there's hope for the world, and I think that we cannot thank them enough.
I'd like to thank my family for being there for me, along with like IB staff, IB teachers, and overall all of Poudre student body, all the students. They've been great, supported everyone. Thank y'all.
All right, you guys are looking fantastic, so I'm just going to take a quick picture. First, I'd like to thank my parents for always being there for me and supporting me. Love you, Mom. My sisters for being the best role models that I could ever have, and then all my classmates and IB teachers, and all my teachers since kindergarten, because I wouldn't be half the person I am without you guys.
I'm about as prepared for this as I was for HL chemistry, so interpret that as you will. But
When I was in 9th and 10th grade, I went back and forth a lot as to whether I would do the diploma program or not. And when I finally made my decision, I was really unsure about it. But I'm really happy to say that I have very minimal regrets about doing the program. And I just am incredibly grateful for all of the friendships and opportunities IB has afforded me, and for the amazing, interesting classes I was able to take with such great teachers.
Jessica Gonzalez Contreras. Augusta Claire Rudnick.
Bryce David Petenpole. Taylor Faith Bartlett.
Bueno, me gustaría empezar dándole las gracias a mis padres. Papá, gracias por mostrarme a trabajar duro. Mamá, gracias por ser mi mejor amiga. Oh gosh, sorry. And I guess I'll give Piccolo a quick shout out for all the late passes.
You're welcome.
Well, I'd like to thank my family, but I know that IB has definitely made me the person that I am today, and I'm just really happy that I got to spend these years with all of you guys, because you guys also helped to shape me into the person that I am today.
As my last name was called, I'm sure many of you are thinking, oh crap, another one? And so that reminds me to the beginning of all of my classes, and here are little snippets of my conversations with the teachers, realizing that I was, once again, another one. Common question was, are you the last one? Which I could therefore answer, yes, thankfully I am. And they're like, so how are your brothers and sisters doing? Oh, they're all doing great. And for the teachers out there who have absolutely no clue what I'm talking about, count your blessings, because those who do, me and my family are very, very, very sorry. So, and to the students that are sitting here staring at me with confused and dazed faces like I had in all my classes, it's been a ride. Thank you guys.
I would like to thank my parents and my family for their unconditional love and support throughout all of my schooling. You guys are awesome. I'd like to thank all of my teachers for pushing me to become better every single day. And I'd like to give a huge shout out to all of my peers. I love you guys. Thank you.
Paulina Herrera Prado. Zoe Oberlin Johnson.
Palmer Carlin Bassett. Benjamin Philip Beauvais.
Le quiero dar las gracias a mi familia y a todos mis amigos por todo su apoyo en los 4 años en la prepa, que puede ser difícil, especialmente cuando es un ambiente diferente a lo que estás acostumbrada. And I also want to thank Piccolo for helping me deal with my senioritis and making me go to photography.
If there's one thing that IB taught me, it's how to fake it till you make it, and I guess we made it! So, good job. Thanks, guys.
Sometimes I felt like I could dance with happiness, cry, and climb a mountain all at the same time. I found myself in moments where I was filled with motivation, but also a deep desire to sleep. And for those inspirational and desperate times, I want to thank the ever-supporting IB staff, my family, my friends, and IB.
There were times in this program that, or a lot of times actually, that I didn't think that I'd be able to complete it, or I didn't think it was for me. Well, despite me not thinking that, my parents, my teachers, counselors, and everyone else who believed in me did. And I'd just like to thank them, thank all of my teachers I've had through elementary, middle, and especially high school. Thank Mr. Piccolo, and thank my family for helping me realize that I could do this program and that it was right for me. And I mean, look at us now. This is incredible. what we're all doing. So thank you.
Leah Rose Malachek. Layla Maheen Boucheri.
Sarah Catherine Arnold. Bailey Janae Bolender.
I have to be honest, when I entered Poudre High School 4 years ago, I had no idea what IB was. I still don't think I do. I remember thinking it sounded sort of like some sort of disease. I wasn't that far off. But despite that, my parents still let me enter this program. And after 4 years, after countless hours of studying and frustration, and I know it wasn't easy, my parents still support me, and for that I want to thank them. And I want to thank them for pretending to understand when I listed off weird acronyms and making up acronyms when they couldn't remember what my IA was called. Really, there's just an absurd amount of acronyms. But I also want to thank my teachers for teaching me the skills I need to go on to college, teaching me to think critically and learn in new ways. Thank you.
I'd just like to give a sincere thank you to the IB teachers and staff. They've helped me get to where I am now, and I'm very glad because of them that I chose to do this program, and I'm proud to have completed it.
Same. So, yeah, that's it.
I'd like to thank my family, my parents and siblings for all their love and support. I'd love to thank my friends and my classmates for all those late night FaceTimes and homework help. And I'd love to thank all my teachers for getting me to where I am today. So thanks.
Estrella Guadalupe Rodriguez Flores. Kelsey Ann Nelson.
Hunter John Schreiner. Andy Emily Berkowitz.
Okay, voy a llorar. Mom, Dad, muchas gracias por todo lo que hacen por mí y por siempre apoyarme, aunque yo sé que los hago enojar. Y pensamos que había muchas veces donde no iba a poder estar aquí, pero lo hice por ustedes y siempre voy a hacer lo más que pueda para hacerlos que se sientan orgullosos de mí. And I also want to thank my section for always believing in me.
IB has been very, very difficult, and it's been hard sometimes to want to continue with it. But without my teachers and my mom, my dad, my sister, and all my family, I don't think I would have been able to, so thank you so much.
I couldn't have done it without the love and support from my family and friends, but more so, I couldn't have done it without Mr. Brown's food incentives. Because other than donuts and Oreos, how else do you justify learning? Also, I would say that IB has been real, but as we've learned from TOK, nothing is real anyways.
All right. I'd like to thank all my peers, teachers in this program for teaching me very valuable life lessons and skills. I'd also like to thank my friends and my family for always being there and supporting me in all my endeavors. And lastly, I'd like to give a huge thank you to my parents. I really love you guys, and I couldn't do this without you.
Roshni Narayanan. Maximilian Robert Poland.
Thomas Mudukayo Gira. Razi Ellen Noby.
I wanted to thank my grandparents, my parents, and my brother especially for all of their support and love through these 4 years, and then the PHS and IB staff for supporting me through this journey. And then I really want to thank my honor teachers, Ms. Schwollert and Ms. Hitchman, for shaping me into the woman I am today. And then I really want to say a big thank you to my IB class. I came from a different middle school. I didn't know any of you in the beginning, and you guys accepted me as one of your own and gave me a place. So thank you so much. I'll never forget any of the memories that we have.
I just want to thank all my parents, my two parents, and all my peers and everybody, and all my coaches and everything, and all my teachers for dealing with me, even though academics wasn't the first part for a lot of my life. And all my coaches that understood that I was going very hard, and all my teammates for letting me yell at them when they weren't doing what I wanted them to do, and understanding. And so Zach, we have Zach in our audience. He's a quiet guy. You guys might not know today is his birthday. So if you guys could all join me and sing happy birthday with him. Let's go. On three, ready? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Zach. Happy birthday to you.
Well, I came to Convocation with just as much preparation as I did for exams, so needless to say, I'm winging it. I'd like to thank all of my teachers for always pushing me to do my best and always being there for me, all my friends for looking out for me, and most importantly, my extremely supporting family for always putting up with me and helping me when I need help.
I'd like to thank my family for keeping me grounded through this whole process, and I'd like to give a huge shout out to my Aunt Kathy for helping me get through my EE and having a really crazy idea and follow through with it. And I'd like to thank all of the IB staff for letting me have a wild dream and live it.
Michelle Avalos Lopez. Daniel Songmin Kang.
Jillian Alexandra Jordan. Clementine Rose Morissette.
I guess I want to start off by thanking the teachers in IB, Malone, Piccolo, and Parsenko. Thank you for pushing me and for helping me through this journey. I really do appreciate it. I want to thank my 4 girls who are sitting out in the audience: Jessica, Paulina, Monse, and Estrella. Thank you. Without you, honestly, I don't think I would be here, so thank you guys so much for being my friends for 13 years. Thank you. Y para mis papás, gracias. Los quiero mucho y ya, eso es por ustedes.
Okay, I guess I'm going. I would like to thank my family unit for having high expectations and making sure I didn't slack too much and letting me stay up late to study. So yeah, that's cool. And also, I'd like to thank all of the professional educators who did their job well. And you guys have all given me a really strong foundation so that I can be at least a moderately successful adult. So thank you.
Maybe sometime in a long time, we'll laugh and make money. Thank you to my family, blood relations or otherwise, because I love you guys. That's all.
So, whatever she said, and I'd like to start with my life journey. I started when I was 6 years old, fresh off the boats from Japan. Started at Dunn Elementary School, first grade. I didn't know the difference between chicken and kitchen, and my best friend was a stuffed monkey, and I was a very subpar student. And I think it's safe to say that not much has changed. I think all my friends are, well, very realistic monkeys, and yeah, but on a serious note, I'd like to thank everyone. It was a great journey, and I'm excited for my next couple years at Front Range Community College. Thanks.
Lucienne Pike Davis. Montserrat Guerrero Castro.
Anne Elise Capes. Monique Adele Roche.
Okay, I want to thank my older sisters Maddie, Jess, and Allie for always being there for me, except when you all moved out and left me to deal with Dad's jokes alone. That wasn't very nice. I want to thank my mom for like 1,000 things because she's fabulous, but mostly that she forgives me for not cleaning my room after she's asked me 75 times. Sorry, Mom. I also want to mention my dad. For a long time, I thought his only skill was to be able to fall asleep to any movie within 10 minutes of it starting, but lately I've realized he can do it in 5. Oh, he's a pretty great dad too, so thanks, Dad.
Well, oh boy, if only you guys knew how many times I ran away and avoided Mr. Piccolo. At the end, he was probably the most helpful person throughout my journey in IB, so I'd like to thank you, Mr. Piccolo. Y darle gracias a mis papás, mi mamá y mi papá, por siempre estar aquí conmigo. Los quiero mucho.
Well, first off, I'd like to thank the Academy, and for everyone for not taking my joke, Griff. Secondly, I had to write this down because I'm going to turn into a mess if I don't read off a card. I'm so honored and humbled to be standing in front of my brilliant, amazing peers today. I wouldn't be here without the unconditional support of my mom and my dad. Step-parents, my brothers, and all of you who had to listen to me practice cello at 4 a.m. in preparation for college auditions. I'm sorry. And of course, I'd like to thank my dear, lifelong friends who some people never have the luck of meeting in their life. Thank you, Kate, Sophie, and Grace, Jack, Palmer, Jenna, and Griff.
I have never felt more thankful than I do today standing on this stage and of all the support and help that I've gotten from everyone in the process, especially my brother, who is the reason that I started every class in the front row right next to the teacher's desk. High school, I have learned, is like a small fire in the backyard. You think you can get it under control until IB dumps gasoline on it.
Emmeline Catherine Hamilton. Brianna Sierra Janae.
William Lauren Kessler. Analia Sybil Hughes Kaufman.
Okay, I guess I'll start. Let's just start off with the fact I didn't trip up the stairs, like A+ for me. I want to thank everyone in this auditorium right now. Even if I don't know you personally, you guys have helped every single one of us here. Thank you once again. I want to thank my family, especially you guys rock. Thank you. You 72 dorks, made this memorable. I also want to say I have also committed blood, sweat, and tears to this program. I actually bled on my ESS paper too. Sorry for the grader, got a paper cut. I wasn't meaning to cross out my work. Thanks, guys.
I would like to thank and honor my brothers for being here, my parents for their trust, my grandparents for their support, and most especially my friends for making my high school experience the best it could possibly be. I couldn't have done it without you, and I love you guys.
So it's really weird to think that I've been in this program for 13 years since kindergarten, where it wasn't really a choice, but I remember when I decided to do IB in high school, my parents asked me, and my exact reaction was, eh. And I really thank myself for doing it, because I don't think I'd be the person I am today without the program, even though I complain a lot about it pretty much every day. So thank you.
Yeah, I would like to start by thanking my parents and my entire family, whether you're related to me or not. I got to be a lot sometimes during this program, and I appreciate that you stuck with me and didn't, kick me out on the streets. Thanks. I would also like to thank every single person in this auditorium, whether I know you or not. You have all contributed to creating these incredible people that I have been able to spend the last many years with, and they would not be the same people without all of you, and I would not be the same person without all of them. And also, to all the IB teachers, I love you all, but to single out Miss Hunt, you have instilled in me an appreciation of literature, which I will never forget, and so thank you. It's been a great time, but I'm really glad it's over.
Kate Kirk Fiesler. Elijah Lee Kitchens.
Samantha T. Lou Jensen. Emily Margaret Volk Ray.
Thank my parents who every day they strive to find the perfect balance between giving me advice and guidance while also giving me a degree of independence so I was able to uncover my personal identity in a world that constantly values conformity. I would also like to thank my teachers and lifelong friends who not only give me a reason to laugh but also give me a reason to love life every day. Thank you.
Okay, so there are about a vigintillion people that I want to thank that I can't do in this 30 seconds, but I'm going to try. So first I'd like to thank Elizabeth Howeiler and Miss Claire Siccardi now. And of course, Mrs. Darland, Miss Janet Von Farrell, and Corey Peterson for helping me stay in touch with my love of humanities and the arts and helping me find my passions in life. I'd like to thank Miss Whitman for teaching me about life and Mr. Smith for helping me figure out the meaning of it. And I'd like to give a quick shout out to my voice coach, Dr. Lewick, who is currently working with his wife, Barbara, to kick cancer's butt, and so proud of them. And I want to thank my two younger brothers so much for reminding me to laugh and live outside of just my homework. And thank you to Mom and Dad for staying with us and putting aside your differences for us. And thank you to my grandfather, PW.
I would like to thank everyone that's helped me get to this point in my life, especially my family, maybe except for my brothers since they drive me a little bit crazy. But especially my mom, she tried to help me with my EE and my IA, even though she didn't understand them. So thank you.
Words to express my gratitude to my family, my brother, and especially my mom. It's almost unbelievable to think how many rides and meals she's provided and how many essays she's proofread, not to mention her unwavering love and support. I cannot imagine the person I I cannot imagine where I would be without the brilliant, caring person that I am so proud to call my mom. Also, thank you to all the teachers, mentors, and peers who have guided me along this journey and helped shape me into the person I am today.
Adi Sadeh. Clara Elizabeth Lennox.
Bryce William Smith. Bailey Camille Endries.
Wow, you guys, we made it. Still hasn't really hit me yet. Despite several breakdowns, I'm very grateful for this program and to have gone through this journey with all of my amazing peers. I would just like to give a huge shout out to my entire family. They have demonstrated unconditional love and support throughout these last 4 years, and I wouldn't be here without any of them. And I would also like to thank all of my teachers. They're just all extremely inspirational. And yeah, I'm really going to miss Mr. Brown's class. So yeah, here we are. Congrats, guys.
I would just like to thank everyone who welcomed me with open arms as the weirdo from Wisconsin who joined IB super, super late. Mr. Beaupre, Miss Wilder, you guys are super supportive. Thank you for everything that you've done. I'd like to thank my family for putting up with me and annoying you when I was studying all night. I love you all. Thank you, everyone, for being such amazing friends. I'm going to miss you. We did it.
I'd like to thank my mom. I'd like to thank her for taking her job opportunity to Colorado. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. I'd also like to thank all the teachers that have brought me to this point, all the coaches, all the mentors, and all my friends. Thank you.
I'd like to thank my dad for reminding me to go to bed instead of staying up all night studying. Thank you. I'd like to thank my mom for pushing me to get my homework done early and then go to bed, but also for understanding when I really had too much and had to stay up late. I'd like to thank my sister for staying supportive throughout the last 6 years that I've been in IB. I love you. I'd like to thank all my friends for supporting me as well. All the IB and non-IB teachers and staff here at Poudre for helping us get here. So thank you.
Helena Luna Russo DeLay. John Anthony Merzen.
Kaya Elizabeth Gerber. Zachary Neil Toms.
I would just like to thank my parents for showing me the world, and then thanking my teachers for somehow trying to teach me how to interpret the world. It's not very simple. I'd say it's pretty complex. And to my little brother Dante, I just wanted to congratulate you because, in the words of Mr. Brown, you were the better Russo DeLay. So, congrats.
I'd just like to thank my parents for all their support and pushing me to do this, and for all my IB teachers who let me have just a couple naps in class, and for all the food incentives.
I decided to pull a good IB one and not prepare anything, but unlike Max, I would like to thank all 4 of my parents. You guys are absolutely amazing. I'd like to thank my sister for trying to explain to me why I'm literally having nightmares about IB, because that happened way more than once. And I'd like to thank my peers. You guys are amazing as well, and I'm super proud of us and everything that we've accomplished, even though it wasn't the easiest thing.
I'd like to thank my parents for forcing me into this program against my own free will when I was a sophomore. Seriously, they do mean a lot to me. I'd like to thank Mrs. Bibby, Mr. Brown, Mr. Beaupre, and Miss Wilder especially, because I would not have made it without you. And I appreciate all 72 of you clowns that I've been honored to be with these last 4 years. Thank you so much.
Kelsey Myers Straw. Joshua Daniel Schwartz.
Shay Eliana Sarmiento Guerra. Owen Rame Lockwood.
Well, I'd like to thank my family for putting up with all the late nights and bad attitudes. Also, the IB staff for their incredible dedication, support, and instruction, and for mostly handling it well when I burst into tears during class. And then to all the other IB kids, Mr. Brown keeps telling us that this is going to be the last time that we're all forced to be in the same room together. And it's been fun, but I'm just really, really happy about that.
Well, it's been a long and hard ride, and I'm sure most of you can agree with me with that. And as I was putting down the pen for the last time on my final IB exam, I was so relieved that I made it. But then I look around the room and see all of you, and I thought, what am I going to do without all of you? And I still don't know. But what I do know is that I wouldn't be here without IB, and I'd like to thank everyone who's aided me on this journey in the past 4 or 7 years for some of you, and thank you.
Me gusta darle muchas gracias a Dios por haberle dado a mis abuelos la valentía de emigrar a los Estados Unidos y a los maestros y a mis padres por su apoyo.
I remember as my sister was asking me questions about Convocation, she said, Owen, are you really going to put a Nietzsche quote in there? And to you, Sophie, I say, I would never do such a thing. But on a more serious note, I would like to extend my gratitude to my sister, Sophie, for all she has pushed me to become and how she has shaped me. I am truly honored to have her be my best friend. And I also would not be here today without my parents, both literally in that they drove me here, and figuratively in that I cannot imagine 2 people I would rather call my mother and father. And on that note, I would like to end with the goal of a melody is not, the end of a melody is not its goal, but nonetheless, had the melody not reached its end, it would not have reached its goal either. A parable, quote, my boy Freddie Nietzsche.
Moana Sargent. Randy Zai Kang Wang.
Abril Grisel Marinon. Franco Uriel Marinon.
All right. Well, first, I'd like to give a really quick shout out to Randy Wing and Mr. Brown for providing me with a lot of food incentives that kept me fed all year. And then I'd also like to thank my family, especially my little sister, for always leaving all the night lights on so that even when I had time to sleep, I couldn't do that. Thank you, Lily. Really cool. And I'd also like to thank my dad. Thank you for letting me use all your printer ink. And on a more serious note, for being my role model.
I'd like to thank my parents for all the support that they've given me throughout the years. I'd like to thank my brother, Howard, for really showing me the way and how to get through IB. Then my friends and peers for always being there for me and letting me copy their homework right before class. And then I'd like to share a quotation, not a quote. Thank you, Ms. Hunt. from Mr. Brown. So yesterday at Convocation practice, he told me he was so excited to hand me his, my IB stole because he could put his hands around my neck. So, and I have no idea why he would want to do that when I've been such a great student, turning in all my homework assignments and my extended essay extra early. So, but despite all the hard times you gave me, Mr. Brown, thank you for everything, and I'll miss you.
I'd like to thank my mom and my dad for their constant encouragement. I don't think I would have been able to make it through the IB program without their support. I'd also like to thank all the teachers who have helped me find my way through IB. So yeah. Also, shout out to my sister who keeps waving at me. I don't know if... Hi, Lourdes. Yep, thank you.
Okay. I'm going to one-up Abril because I have something more detailed. I want to say thank you to my parents for all they've given me. I'm very grateful for the material goods and the liberties you've given me, but more importantly, I'm grateful for the life lessons you've taught me by your example and the inspiration and support to pursue my dreams. Thank you for your sacrifice, or for the sacrifices you've made for me, and for your commitment to allowing me to continue my life here. I also want to thank my friends. I'd be lying if I said that without your help, I'd still be sane in IB. Thanks for all your encouragement, dependability, and more importantly, all the rides home that I've gotten from you guys. And I hope that in the future we can continue to make memories. Thank you.
Veda Vijayasayat. Sorry. Vijayasayati. Sorry, Veda. Vijayasarathi. I know how to say it. It's the third child in the family, but I just stumbled. Jesse Bo Schaub.
Jess Henry Hamlin. Leah Snyder Volpa.
When I was in 8th grade, I missed the deadline to sign up for IB because I forgot, and that pretty much sums up how the last 4 years have gone. I'd just like to thank my family, my educators, my peers, and everyone else who told me to keep going when I really wanted to stop.
Yeah. There's a Chinese proverb that says, the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago, but the second best time is today. It neglects the most convenient third best time, which is tomorrow. These are the words I've lived by throughout my high school career. When I hear an assignment is due tomorrow, I know I have to do it tomorrow. Except with Kaz, I met every deadline with that. Oh, and one more other thing to my classmates. All of those allergies that I said I had, it was all a prank, bro.
I would very much like to thank my family, my friends, and my teachers who helped me through this program and who I couldn't have done it without.
First and foremost, thank you to all the wonderful teachers who have given me such a wonderful gift that I will never forget. Thank you to all of my wonderful friends who are always so supportive and loving. And most importantly, thank you to my family who, without your unconditional love and support, I would not be the same person I am today.
Talia Lee Berlin. Jason Julong Ren.
Ethan Harlan Post. Evan Nicholas Tunney.
I want to say thank you to all of those who've supported me in the past few years through the ups and downs and the challenges I may have caused. And I'm really appreciative for the experiences I've had that have helped turn me into the person I am.
Wow, well, we made it, and that's pretty wild. I want to say thank you to my family, especially my mother and my dad. It means a lot, all your support, and I know for you, Dad, especially, and we didn't know if you were going to be here, and I'm really glad that you could make it. I want to say thank you to all my classmates. I love you all. We had a great 4 years. Thank you.
I just want to say thank you to my mom and dad for putting up with my late nights and earlier mornings, and especially for keeping a well-stocked fridge and pantry. Thank you for that. And thank you to my teachers, both IB and non-IB, for helping me become who I am today. You are some of the best teachers that I've ever had, and thank you.
Thanks for that. All right. Thanks to my parents, who are always loving and always trying to push me forward. Thanks to my brother Ty, who's not here right now, but for implanting the idea of IB into my parents' mind. Special thanks to all of the staff and teachers that are in the IB program and out of the IB program. None of us would be here without all of you. Special thanks to Mr. Brown for just being an awesome person, an awesome teacher. And since we have all lost our chains from the IB tyranny, we have nothing but a world to gain.
And finally, Elijah Beck Slocum.
I'm not always the best with words, so I'm going to play a song instead. I would like to thank my family and all my mentors for helping me through everything and influencing who I am today. One second.
So we do have one final speaker before we conclude our ceremony today. And each year, the IB senior class selects one student to represent them as their convocation speaker. And this year, that honor goes to Mr. Griff Bibby.
So first of all, I'd like to thank my class for allowing me to have this opportunity. And we're just going to talk a little bit about what we've accomplished together as a class. So 4 years ago, on a cold, dry Colorado morning, I was sitting in an annex at Poudre Middle School in Miss Karen Silva's English class. The day began with graded essays being handed back. As I flipped through my essay, I processed the comments she'd left on my work. At the end of my paper was some holistic feedback. This note, at the back of my paper, changed my approach to my schoolwork, artistry, athletics, and relationships forever. Miss Silva's note called my essay my craft. Now, I didn't quite understand that at the time because I had always thought that a craft was something with popsicle sticks and pipe cleaners. So I grappled with this word over winter break, and when I came back from my final semester of 8th grade, this word appeared again, but in my art class. I listened to my teacher, Mr. Ashley Hall, talk about what it meant to be a craftsman, what it meant to be someone who creates. He talked about craft as the value of artistic learning, growth, and accomplishment, but also the way in which we build our lives. It was at this time that I learned what it truly meant to build my own craft and appreciate that of others. In the Poudre Diploma program, I've seen my classmates shape their craft, each in an individual and novel approach, each with an equally valuable outcome. The accomplishments of this class are truly unmatched. We have students whose craft is in every area. We have scholastic art and writing, gold and silver keys, kaleidoscope artists and writers, renowned dancers, international thespians, all-state band, orchestra, and choir members, many of whom traveled to Carnegie Hall in New Orleans to demonstrate their craft. For science, we have state and national science Olympiad, robotics, Science Bowl, Knowledge Bowl, and HOSA competitors. In political and economic science, we have state and national competitors in speech and debate, DECA and FBLA, as well as a student successful at state and national 4-H. We have 5 Eagle Scouts and 1 Gold Award Girl Scout. We have diploma candidates serving in student council and ambassadors, as well as volunteering weekly across Colorado with organizations such as Poudre Valley Hospital. These students are doing more service than needed to fulfill their CAS requirements because they see their craftsmanship in the bettered lives of others. The class of 2018 is involved in all 5 National Honor Societies at Poudre in every varsity sport except football and wrestling, and also unsanctioned sports such as martial arts and equestrian. These students have made their sports their craft. We have numerous state competitors and placers and a 2-time state champion at #1 singles in tennis. We have students attending truly top schools in Europe and America next year as well, and together we have collected millions of dollars in scholarship money. As I'm sure you now know, the IB Diploma program is hailed as one of the most difficult academic pathways for adolescents in the entire world. Every student in this room has developed their academic craft to a level which demonstrates both depth and breadth. Extended essay topics ranged from examining the impacts of Mao Zedong's domestic policies on modern-day China to evaluating France's approach to nuclear power, deducing the chemical relationship between electrolytes, metal anodes, and the Nobili ring phenomenon, the similarities between Soviet and American artistic propaganda, to unpacking the musical complexities of Ralph Vaughan Williams. We have all completed an epistemological philosophy course on the theory of knowledge and written essays and given presentations on complex social and philosophical issues to provide a backbone to our education. We've ensured that our interests remain balanced and varied by completing Kazakh experiences. Every single student has performed and written original physics, chemistry, biology, or environmental research. We have all written original literary commentaries and historical research, as well as essays and conversations in second languages. I'm also proud to say that this level of craft has been accomplished by students who do not come from privileged backgrounds and situations. This class represents almost every socioeconomic demographic. We also have first generation and second language students here who have truly accomplished the feat of being international academics. And I would like to applaud them in particular for their role in making the PHS IB diploma program truly singular. This program tested all of our dedication. We have all almost given up at one point, but instead, I have seen my peers stubbornly persist towards excellence. Parents, you have seen your children struggle for years to get to this very moment. Receiving this stole does not come without your students' unparalleled vigor and endurance. This struggle has been a vital role in our craft as a community. In this struggle, I see the best come out in my classmates. I can confidently say that every person in this class is good-natured, open-minded, and above all, kind. I will never find a group of caring individuals like these students who ensure that respect is the cornerstone of the life they live. I ask that you celebrate this above all our other achievements. However, we could not be up here on this stage receiving our stole without the support of the parents, family, and friends here tonight. You all play a crucial role in shaping and forming our craft. It's a thankless job, but you play a key role in raising us to be the individuals we are today. You've guided us to be kind, to be open-minded, to be stubborn, and to live life as if it is a craft and we are the craftsmen. You've been there for us in the best of times and the worst of times, and to see us grow up. Just think, it doesn't seem like that long ago that my mom was walking me and my siblings to catch the Poudre Elementary School for my first day of kindergarten. I don't know what's going to be harder for you parents, letting us go to kindergarten or college for the first time. We will cherish every moment we've had with you all for the rest of our lives. Know that your artistry in parenting us has been unique and does not go unnoticed. You are in many ways the most talented craftsman in the room. Now, I have had an especially interesting relationship with one parent in particular. Some of you may know that my mom has been my physics teacher for the past 2 years. As the child of 2 PSD public school teachers, I can tell you that the craft of the teachers in the room is invaluable. I've seen my parents selflessly dedicate themselves to each and every one of their students, no matter how difficult. I know what you all have done for us. You wake up before the sun is up. You stay up all night grading our papers. You spend years, or in Mr. Knight's case, decades, building a curriculum which prepares us. You make a difference in the lives of students every year. Teachers have a unique gift of finding something special, something good, and some skill in every student, and using that to build them up. You've changed all of our lives. And the hard thing is that you will do it for the students next year and the year after that. To the past teachers here, thank you for getting us here. You build the crucial foundation and curiosity which helps us through the diploma program. To the IB staff and administration, thank you for your incredible teaching and doing the extra requirements that IB asks. But above all, thank you for giving us a community of learning and unending friendship. There's no level of gratitude which can speak to what you have done for us. Thank you all for your role in our craft. And with that, I'm proud to say, congratulations, class of 2018.
Thank you, Griff. You are truly a leader among your peers, and so the quotation on your award is from John F. Kennedy and simply says, "One person can make a difference, and everyone should try." Griff, I know you will always make a difference. And now, class of 2018, would you please rise? Parents and honored guests, thank you for joining us in this celebration, and please join me once more in acknowledging the efforts of these young individuals in front of us. Family and friends, thank you for being here. Graduates, please know that you go with our blessing, and we are so proud of you and cannot wait to see what you do for our future and yours. Congratulations. That concludes our ceremony, and as pomp and circumstance plays, graduates, you may meet your family and friends in the lobby. Thank you.